Page 240, the snail race. Cindy had a collection of snails. She wanted to see which snail could travel the farthest in 1 minute. Below is a table showing the distance each snail traveled. Complete the line plot below to display the information shown in the chart, and then answer the questions to follow. Be sure to finish labeling all of the marks along the line before you plot the data points. So if we take a look, over here we have the snails, and we have their distance traveled. Down below, we have a line plot that is partially filled in. So our job is to fill in the rest of these, even though there might not be a snail for that. So if we look at what we have, we start with 3 is our smallest and 5. We also have 3 and 4/8. So we're going to work with eighths. So the first mark would be 3 and 1/8, then 3 and 2/8, then 3 and 3/8. So you see that the whole number is staying the same. The denominator is the same. The numerator is going up by 1. So 3 and 4/8, 3 and 5/8, 3 and 6/8, 3 and 7/8, and then 4. Now 4 and 1/8, 4 and 2/8, 4 and 3/8, 4 and 4/8, 4 and 5/8, 4 and 6/8, 4 and 7/8, and then 5. So we have that all down. Now we have to go in and fill in where our snails are. So we have one snail that's at 3 and 6/8, and then we have two snails rather at 4 and 2/8. We have one snail at 4 and 3/8. These X's are my snails. We have one snail at 4 and 4/8. We have one snail at 4 and 5/8. And then one snail at 4 and 7/8. Number 2 says, what is the shortest minimum distance? So the smallest marking that we have, the shortest, is this guy right here, 3 and 6/8. And then if you saw on the answer key, it says or 3 and 3/4. That is because 3/4 is equivalent to 6/8. It's just simplified. Number 3, what is the longest? The maximum distance. So the maximum distance is this guy down here, 4 and 7/8. So the farthest is 4 and 7/8. And then number 4 says, what is the difference between the shortest and the longest distance? This is the range. Show your work. So when we find the range, we take the largest, and we can just go back up here. So 4 and 7/8. And we subtract the shortest. So that actually is this guy right here, 3 and 6/8. And this equals, we'll subtract our whole numbers first. 4 minus 3 is 1. 7 minus 6 is 1. And then our denominator always stays the same. So our range is 1 and 1/8 inches. Okay, which distance appears most often? This is the mode. We always remember mode and most. So this one right here where it has the 2 above it, so that's 4 and 2/8, and if you saw on the other answer sheet, it could also equals 4 and 1/4. 2/8 and 1/4 are equivalent fractions. 2/8 equals 1/4 simplified. Number 6 says, which distance is in the middle value of all measurements? The median. So if you listed your data out from the smallest to the greatest, the one that would be in the middle, so the middle one, the very middle median, is the 4 and 3/8 inches. So this guy right here, this is our middle, our median. So our mode and our median. I hope that helps.